today, got another nice little stack of comics to review. Starting out with Barbaric, issue 2, Born in Blood. The team separated. Owen faces down the worst nightmare of his barbarian past, while Soren and Axe endure interrogations by the cruel, half-giant Auric. As for Steel, turns out that half-feral vampires might have their own place on the food chain. By Vault Comics. And if I could get the page turned, we got Michael Morrissey, Fabiana Marquez, Nathan Godin, and Jim Campbell on this. We basically get Owen stuck in a kind of a dream state while he's getting beaten by this elder barbarian that apparently knows him from his childhood and apparently brings back memories of when he's being trained as a young barbarian and just being beaten senselessly, continuously. And we get to see Owen constantly fighting with this guy, but yet he's not. He's stuck in the past visions of his childhood and not realizing what's going on in the current timeline. And at the same time, Soren the vampire and our witch are wanting to help him. He doesn't want help because he thinks he's doing his barbaric battles as a child, his little test of endurance and all that stuff, you could say. And so while all that's going on, our witch gets her mouth covered up, gets her hands put into shackles so she can't do no witchcraft. Our vampire gets staked with a bunch of different stakes that basically don't allow him to escape or move, just basically sit there suffering in pain, eventually die from what the stakes are consist of, and they end up in a dungeon being tortured, waiting for their punishment, their outcome, but along the way our vampire sits there and puts the thing up in the air that he wants to fight the head barbarian. And I'm not going to give no more pictures of that. It'll give too much away, but our head barbarian just so happens to not be just a barbarian. He's a little bit something else. So you got to watch out for that and see what they did and what twists and turns came along the way. Whether or not the witch and Odin get themselves out of trouble. What's up with the axe? I did learn. Well, I didn't really learn. Every now and then you see it where people have the axe and they can't hear the axe talk. But yet the people with Odin and stuff, they're hearing the axe talk when they're out and about doing stuff. But yet, this is the second or third time I've seen where someone else is carrying the axe is talking, and they're not hearing what the axe is saying. Not really sure what was up with that, if only immortals can hear the axe, or just, no, it wouldn't just be the people with Owen, I wouldn't think, because the people he was chopping up, he'd say stuff to also in the past. Kind of weird that they did that, but I like it. It's a good storyline. I love all the Barbaric comics so far. That is definitely one of my favorite runs in the past 5 years. And then we got DC Pride Celebration of Rachel Pollack. Wonderful person that gave us some wonderful items over the years and sadly passed. Way too young. But we got a nice little forward in here giving you the gist of everything. And then we got Doom Patrol number 70, The Laughing Game. And Vertigo Visions, The Geek number 1, Homelands of the Dolls. Excuse me. Doom Patrol 1 is done by Rachel Pollack, Scott Eaton, Tom Sutton, and Tom Ziolko. And then we got John Workman and Tom Taggart. Taggart's the cover artist. Then in Geek 1, that's Rachel Pollack, Michael Allred, Laura Allred, Clem Robbins, and the Geek created by Joe Simon. I want so much more of that, the Geek character. I was so happy when I seen this, hoping it was a new storyline, but it ended up being the one that I have. And then we got Shining Through the Wreckage, which is Joe Corallo, Rye Hickman, and John Workman. I'm not sure can't remember what that. I thought that was just the original first story coming back and finishing it off, which I think it is. It goes right back to the Doom Patrol story, but yeah, we get our Doom Patrol characters going through a bunch of stuff. Our Machine Man's having some issues because he's got someone trapped inside his brain. I can't think of her name. What's her name? I got Kate stuck in my head, but she's anyways, it's the one gal that he hangs out with a lot, and somehow got put inside his brain or something like that prior to this storyline. So we get to see what's going on, and then I mean, it is Doom Patrol, so you're gonna get some really strange characters. But this dude, I mean, come on. And his name, I think, is Codpiece. But running around with that outfit, I mean, that's just ridiculous. It would make more sense if the item grew when he needed it instead of constantly walking around with a raging boner. And so he's got all kinds of weaponry that shoots out of it. You see him battle with someone, and that just so happens to be part of what's going on with Cliff and stuff with who's stuck in his head. Sorry about the phone, but I should have took it out the hook beforehand. But we get our telemarketers, so it's finally someone that's not a telemarketer. It's the first time in a month that we get someone normal that calls. But then we go to the geek storyline, Homeland of the Dolls, and actually, before we jump in there, though, I really like our couple here that are all mummified. Good picture, don't do this as soon as I look for it. I had a bunch of good pictures of them, and then I go look for it, and it's going to take me right to the end, and I don't want to ruin the end of it. But yeah, I guess you're just going to get the better pictures read story. But it's a couple all wrapped up in their wrappings they can control, and their wrappings are basically alive, I guess. They're their own entity. And it's very unique how that couple works together. Uh, I was thinking I think the guy is the one that has the black matter character inside his body that jumps out and goes off and does things, solves the problems, then comes back. Because at one point they're screwing around, and while they're screwing around, a black entity bursts out of his body and disappears because he doesn't want to be there while they're screwing around. I assume it's that character, and then he found himself a girlfriend, and that's how that happened. But then we go to the geek story, and it basically is built around a circus. Um, circus master, or what the heck? On the head of the circus guy. He's basically really cruel to our geek character, as is everybody else that's in the circus, except for like a gal that talks nice to him and stuff. But he's got the ability to jump his body from his body to other items, other dolls, wallpaper, curtains, whatever, mirrors. He can change his size, shrink, grow, all that stuff, and very interesting how he tries to get through life, and we get to see his abuse and how he makes things work for himself while he's constantly trying to help out this gal that he cares for. And it's just when I was introduced to that character a long time ago, I was just looking all over for more anything I could find about him, but I was unable to find anything to get my hands on. So, but then we jump back to the Doom Patrol story, which gets more into Cliff's head with all that going on. And we got these strange animal characters that start popping up and stuff, and we're kind of caught in between the reality and a dream world. We even get some superhero characters that we know from the DC universe. Uh, but yeah, this is a nice collection for memory of Rachel. But I was hoping there was more to it. But yet, when I read the story, I kind of felt like there was like 4 pages of added material. But I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure it's still the original one that I have. I want to find where I put mine and sit there and check it out. See if it is completely the same story. It's got to be. I mean, Rachel's passed. They would have said something if someone filled in some new material or something like that. You never know. It just felt like the art style changed for a second in the middle of the story for like 4 pages and then jumped back. But we got the final issue of Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft. I thought the last one was the final issue, but I was wrong. We got David Avallone, Kubar Bell, Walter Pereira, Taylor Esposito, and more. But we get to see the outcome of followers that were chasing after Elvira and H.P. Lovecraft for the Necronomicon. You get to see what ends up happening to them. We get to see Elvira and H.P. Lovecraft end up in a world where there's a giant Cthulhu creature and other gods that they have to deal with because they're annoying their slumber and they want to be left alone. And we end up finding out that HP is in trouble for what he's done. You get in this realm that they're in with Cthulhu and stuff. You get lots of other HP Lovecraft type creatures you'll see throughout there, and even on the cover you can see a bunch of weirdly drawn, weirdly imagined creatures. I was never a HP Lovecraft fan, so none of those characters really interested me that he ever drew up. So I wasn't overly thrilled with it, but I love Elvira, and it was a decent enough story. Just wish it would have been someone other than HP Lovecraft. uh, but yeah, we get to see what happens with the final parts of the Necronomicon and what's going on with it, who ends up with it, what's going to happen to it, whether or not Elvira gets back to her home, back to her own reality, or if she's going to get sent off to another one because these keep running into more and more storylines. But I'm all up for whatever happens. I've been loving all the different ones. This one I liked the least character wise, but the story was decent enough. Then I just picked these up in a 3 comic deal through Jevin Loop. Anthony talked about on the last episode of Crimson Gull Comic Club. So I went on and ordered them. We got Moose Man, which I felt like I already had, but I may not. You're basically dealing with Moose Man that's dealing with some poachers in the woods on his territory, and he's trying to prevent those things. It's black and white. fun, very quick to read. So check it out if you're into fun little stories. But yeah, you can imagine it's just the basic concept story, the poacher storyline, which we've seen many different ways done. And we got Nuke Rooster, number one, and number two. These were a lot of fun. Got a plane flying pretty low today. Uh, in the first story, we get kind of like these cavity type creatures that are attacking Nuke Rooster with their boss. And Nuke Rooster ends up in a big battle with them. And they're actually not, I think the cavity creatures were in the second issue. These creatures are more like Jawas. But yeah, you get to see them battle it out. And again, a quick read. So I don't want to give it all away. But you're basically dealing with Nuke Rooster, dealing with the baddies, different type of baddies. Each story, each book could definitely stand on its own, which is nice. But yeah, you got slime monster. You got to get this girl that pops up during his battles, and I could have swore this one. Yeah, there it is. There's the teeth people acting. They're like giant denture heads. I don't know why they'd have denture heads. When he busts the dentures off one of them, they look like normal, not human form, but normal alien head type characters. But yeah, it reminds me of the old commercials back in the day, the Crest or whatever, Colgate or whatever. The it's just second story in what, a week now that ended up having bad guys that were dental bad guys like that. So I don't know if that's making a comeback or what's going on. I think that's something epic with the Howard the Duck style covers. Still don't know. Is it Howard the Duck? I don't know. I just not positive what's going on. A strange flower with an eyeball. They're walking through this. I don't think it was the 100 Acre Woods. The 100 Acre Wood gets referenced from Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. You got tons of different fable type things that get referenced throughout this book. But our girl and Duck are in search of someone that has lightning powers. And they go to the life tree. Life tree sends them to Asgard. Asgard, they run into Thor, and you end up seeing them try and work with him to help them out. And it's just, it's a very interesting story, very heavy read, which is nice. I love the covers with the duck on it, but I don't know if D is Howard or not. I still don't know. I wish I do, but I think I got the original volume one of the trade ordered, or I have it. Just haven't pulled it out and read it yet, but I will get that and start reading that. I don't know what I have still coming of these, but I shouldn't keep reading them. I should go back to the beginning and read that first, and then read these when I get caught up. We'll see what happens. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Power. Uh, this is the black, white, and green run, issue 2. This was the really good one. Last issue, they had 3 individual character stories, and then the fourth one was weird. Didn't kind of relate with them. I was hoping that it would. This one has 4 great stories. Every one of them, I giggled a little at the end. So that's a good thing. You got Body Count by Gavin Smith. You got If by Feast or Famine by Tyler Boss. You got The Green Dogo by Javier Rodriguez. And then you got Deadly Delivery by Mikey Way, Nicholas Mezzaja, and Lee Luridge. I love the artwork, and apparently Gavin Smith did this all, the writing and the art. But this is some beautiful, strong artwork with this Casey story. Basically, see Casey coming across something that's going on. He talks to the guys, says, "Hey, you want to help me out?" Because Mikey's all like, "Let's go get some pizza." And Casey's like, "Yeah, but you got to help me out first." But it's just, these are just such beautiful, strong images. I just love that art style and just the detail, everything around it. It's like, now I want to go and find some Gavin Smith stuff and see if he's always been this strong with the art style. And there's just so much I want to show this page so bad, but it would ruin things to the end of it. I don't want to do that. But then we get a story where, is it Mikey again? I think it's Mikey. Yeah, it's gotta be Mikey because I see his nunchucks on his side there. With it all green colored and black and white, it's hard to tell unless you see the weaponry. He comes across the pizza that he ordered. The pizza's missing, but the box has slime on it. So it instantly goes to Baxter Stockman. He hunts him down, find out what's up, and we get to hear stories of how things happened, what happened to the pizza, how it crashed and got destroyed, and the phone's gonna ring all day today, I guess. Sorry about that. It usually never rings. But yeah, of course, when I'm doing this, it's just gonna keep ringing. I'm not gonna redo the podcast when I'm trying to get this done. So, but yeah, he searches for what happened to the pizza. It's a nice little crime noir style storyline and lots of fun. All these were a blast. In the Green Dogu, we get a character that has this little green. Where is it? Oh, he's got it right now. This little green totem type character, and with it, you can mind control people by saying certain things and taking control of them. What the turtles do with it towards the end is fun. Really fun. But yeah, definitely made me laugh. Then the last storyline, we got a pizza monster that's attacking everybody that orders pizza for delivery. They'll get their pizza delivered, and he'll be there to devour them instead of them eating the pizza. And our little dudes, green dudes, do what they can to deal with the pizza monster, and they have a fun little trick in the end that they work on. And you get to see whether or not it works out, and it's just, yeah, this was my favorite one so far. It's like the first one, I loved the first 3 stories. I was just bummed that the last story wasn't a Mikey related one because I think the other ones took care of Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael. Each had their own individual story, but yeah, this one, a little giggle at the end of each one. That's all I ask for. Check that out. That's fun. Keep following Under the Cull of MS. Rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend. Check out Crimson Color Comic Club, and we will get back to you sometime soon. Bye.